Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's the podcast that's always got plenty of milk, eggs, and bread in the pantry and fridge. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Koblenz in studio alongside
Jay Reed.
Jay, are you ready for the oncoming ice apocalypse as we record?
Ice apocalypse part the first. I think there's another one coming. So by the time this airs, part one will be in part two. I didn't even know. Somebody told my wife, hey, it's going to be worse next weekend.
I think they lied to you.
Could be. Well, you know, I don't trust anybody when it comes to predictions like this.
Do you not?
I feel like
are you a weather science denier?
No. I feel like it's either when they predict something as huge as they're saying now, that it's usually either a lot worse or it just kind of passes through and it's not nearly as bad. It's never exactly what they say, you know. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be exactly as they say. We'll be prepared. We got plenty of food. If we lose power, who knows? It could be a lot of leftover Christmas candy we're eating for the next 2 days.
And so are you on gas heat at all?
No. Well, we have gas heat, but you got to have electricity to run it.
But not that much.
Not that much what?
Of electricity to run it.
Well, you got to have a generator if you don't.
That's right.
Which I do not.
I got my generator out, got it prepped. Fourth time I pulled the pull handle, it cranked right up.
Nice.
And ran an extension cord to the blower of the furnace, which is very, very easy to get to. And it's just a regular plug in the wall 110. It's not hardwired. It's just a plug. And put it in and worked. Ran the heater off the generator for an hour, and it was golden. So.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of counting. I'm on one electric power grid. My parents are on another electric power grid. So I'm hoping maybe both won't go down at the same time.
Yeah, but getting from one to the other, because if it's bad enough for one to go down, it's going to be treacherous too. But you got four-wheel drive.
I got four-wheel drive. Yeah.
It's still going to be treacherous.
Oh, it'll be treacherous.
We actually brought the four-wheeler in from the cabin.
I'm married to a Yankee. I got the driving thing down. I just let her drive.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think something's going to happen. It's just I'm more worried about the 6 to 8 degrees, depending on which app you look at on Monday.
Yeah.
The snow and stuff I can handle. I'm off this weekend. I can just be home. But yeah, when I have to go to work on Monday and it's 6 degrees, I'm not loving that.
I'm more worried about the water on ground frozen at 6 degrees versus the actual temperature. At temp, I mean, it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, everything that it brings.
Yeah. So
who knows if there's no power? I don't know how you run a computer at the pharmacy either. So that should be even more interesting.
That's right. You got everything charged up. You got all your.
I've got a list of things to make sure that by morning everything will be charged. 'Cause I don't think we're really supposed to get stuff bad till first thing tomorrow. Is that right?
As I understand it, it's a fluid situation as we record.
Frozen fluid.
We'll probably start getting some rain after midnight through here, but it should still be above freezing, and the temperature drops through the day. And so maybe noonish tomorrow, it's going to start freezing up a little bit. The Mississippi State men's basketball game has been moved from, I think it was a 3 o'clock tip to 11 a.m. And admission tomorrow. Oh, yeah, wow. As we record, admission's free. And so now you can go in. Of course, it will have happened by the time this airs. They moved the Ole Miss Kentucky game. They're in Lexington. They moved it to 10 a.m. so that they could play it up there, get done, get them back to Oxford.
Okay.
Before things get bad.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even Oxford, 2 hours north or hour and a half north of here, is another belt of whatever, of the storm. Like it's more serious, even 30 miles north of here.
Lafayette County, Webster County is under an ice storm warning.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're under a winter storm watch. the county due west of us is under an ice storm warning.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I get so many notifications.
I'm a weather nerd. There are a couple different weather people I follow on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm looking for the drops from the National Weather Service with their forecast maps. And so I'm pretty up on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I think you need to get where you need to be tomorrow around lunch and plan on being there for a couple of days.
Yep.
So
that's what I figure.
Do y'all have a fireplace?
Gas logs with the electric switch to turn them on.
Oh, you just get you a match. Seriously, put the gas.
Well, I got
on.
a pilot light on, but I'm not sure how the switch. If I turn the switch on and there's no power, it's going to release the gas.
What I would do is I would get my logs on and leave them on.
I was kind of thinking that.
Yeah. But make sure you leave it.
Thanks for joining our tutorial of
Yeah.
how to live through snowpocalypse.
Well, and this is one of those weekends where I would love to be out the cabin because I've got the solar panels, batteries, full home generator, the whole kit and caboodle. So it could be a lot of fun, or it'd just be boring as all get out. So, but anyway, plus it's got the propane fireplace, which would be great. So
for sure.
But anyway, all right, let's get into other geeks of this week. So, would you like to go first today, Jay?
I'll go first since Art has chosen to work. He's really working this whole retirement thing, like he has to work now. But anyway, so I am not. This is no secret to any regular listener. I'm not the expert on Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin, that sort of thing. However, I think months ago we discussed the fact that there was another spinoff coming, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Yes. It has begun to air as we record this.
That's right. Based upon the tales of Dunk and Egg.
Which from the novella The Hedge Knight.
That's right.
Right. So my geek though, I'm going to watch it. I didn't watch all of Game of Thrones, as we know, but I watched all of House of Dragon, both seasons.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
House Targaryen.
Okay. So I'm going to watch this. It looks a lot of fun. I watched the trailer. It looks like a fun kind of a buddy movie almost, but in a series form. But the thing is, the premiere of this was the third highest premiere on HBO ever. 6.7 million viewers over the course of the first couple 3 days on HBO and HBO Max. Do you see the headline? Do you know what the first two were?
Game of Thrones season 7 episode 1? No.
You're warned though. I mean, the number 1 and the number 2 are House of the Dragon season 1 and House of the Dragon season 2 openers. Interesting. Yeah. So they had like 10 million of season 1, 7.8 million season 2, and then 6.7 House of the Seven Kingdoms. And I'm not sure how it's held up. Night of the Seven
Kingdoms, not House of the Seven.
I'm sorry, getting all my spinoffs mixed up. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And I was kind of reading about it, and it looked like the guy who, I guess the showrunner, whoever was doing this, is working really closely with Martin to keep it, because it's kind of a beloved piece for him, for the author.
Yeah.
So he's trying to keep it, not veer too much away from the story.
Yeah, the showrunner for Night of the Seven Kingdoms is working real close with George R.R. The showrunner for House of the Dragon and George R.R. Martin are somewhat estranged. Season 2, Martin gave some notes back to the showrunner about why did you change this from the book, and basically the showrunner's like, we paid you, shut up. So
it sounds like a very different scenario with this one.
Yeah.
So anyway, it should be fun.
Well, Martin was heavily involved in Game of Thrones, even to the point the first 4 or 5 seasons, he would write an episode of Game of the TV show because he wrote television for years. And but once they caught up to his material, he gave them, I think this is how it's going to end. And they just went off. The two Dans went off and finished it on their own. So we're still waiting on Winds of Winter from George R.R. Martin, the book. Was due 10 years ago.
Okay. He's doing all right.
Yeah, but he really needs to finish this stuff before he dies. So
Yeah, kind of like I'm listening to Wheel of Time right now, audiobook, and I've tried to find it in different places, and I've kind of been looking around and see that there's like 14 plus
yes,
books in that series, and Brandon Sanderson was kind of finished it out for him, and after he passed. So yeah, I can see your concern about getting this done.
Sanderson wrote the last 3 books of the Wheel of Time sequence from Robert Jordan, based upon his notes.
Right, that's what I was seeing.
Yeah, and I bailed out of the Wheel of Time like volume 8. I think Path of Daggers, because it just got so repetitive. And I enjoyed the TV show and remembered a good chunk of it because I haven't read Wheel of Time in over 10 years. But
the audiobook is like 32 hours.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I'll run out of Spotify hours before I finish it. I'll have to wait till it regroups.
The Eye of the World, which was quite good, But
I'll listen to the book and then I'll watch at least the first season and see how it plays out.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting about the premiere. I knew Night of the Seven Kingdoms got a huge premiere. And it's been critically.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't yet. I'm gonna wait till it gets 3 or 4. I jumped in and I'm rewatching Mad Men on HBO Max.
Okay. Oh, you're watching the edge of the screen.
I've not found anything else. They seem to have gone in and cleaned up.
Okay.
But I'm enjoying Mad Men. Forgot how good Mad Men was and the character arcs there. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big John Hamm fan, So I'm going to get through it. Finished up Landman, which was pretty amazing, which is a guilty pleasure. So critically panned, but publicly praised. So Landman is the most popular streaming series on Paramount Plus.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, quite good. And then I want to watch Star Trek Academy. Starfleet Academy.
Is that just coming out? I've been seeing a lot of stuff about it.
I think it's on episode 3 or 4.
Okay. All right. So it's newish.
It's got Paul Giamatti and
I saw the picture of him.
Holly Hunter,
Yeah.
And then there's that. I've not watched Fallout Season 2. I've got it downloaded in case we lose power and internet. And then, Night of Seven Kingdoms So Fallout, Starfleet Academy, and Night of the Seven Kingdoms are my next up to watch.
Yeah, I'm still working on Stranger Things, and Melissa and I are watching The Big C, which is like 10, 15 years old.
Yeah,
Laura Linney and Oliver Platt. It's really good.
Oh yeah.
So
I've still got to finish The Bear. I think I've got a season and a half of The Bear.
Oh gosh, yeah, you need to finish that.
I've got to be in a special mind space for The Bear. But anyway.
All right. What's your geek?
My geek is a upcoming streaming series on Disney Plus. It's going to be where it is. It is Maul, Shadow Lord, Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord. Darth Maul comes back.
Okay.
So if you remember at the end of the Solo movie, if Emilia Clarke, who played the big bad, who was, the Queen of Dragons in Game of Thrones, she was the villain in the Solo movie.
Oh, wow.
The Solo movie was great.
I've seen it, but I don't remember her.
Well, there's this stinger at the end. She's trying to set up her own criminal empire. And the stinger at the end is Darth Maul comes up and says, basically you report to me, whatever. So, Darth Maul was killed at the end of Phantom Menace. He was cut in half, spins into the abyss. In Clone Wars, they resurrected Maul through some sort of dark force trickery. Mm-hmm. And so he's coming back as a crime lord. He's no longer Darth Maul. He's just Maul. He's no longer a Sith. But so this is a streaming series that's going to debut end of April 6th, actually, of this year. So 2 episods dropping.
Live action?
No, it's animated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 episodes total. They're going to do 2 at a time. So the trailer for it dropped this week. And, the other thing, I can't remember if we talked. No, we didn't talk about this last week. Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down.
Saw that, yeah.
As head of Lucasfilm. And she's 72 years old. I didn't realize she was quite that old. And so with her stepping down, I'm trying to find Dave Filoni is going to be creative director of Lucasfilm, and then he's going to be.
She stepped down, or was she ushered down?
I think it was time for her. She's done this for 10, 12 years. I think she wants to produce some movies under her own, that are outside of Lucasfilm. But Filoni's going to be chief creative officer, and everybody loves Dave Filoni. This is the guy who Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian has just had his creative stamp all over. And then I don't care about the Slack ad that just popped up on Variety or Deadline or whatever. I'm trying to find who's going to be the chief operating officer. There's a COO position. I'm trying to find it. Man, it just.
And what was she?
So she was president of Lucasfilm. So they basically divided her roles into two ways. Basically a COO and a chief creative officer. Linwin Brennan is going to be the executive vice president and general manager, and she's been at ILM for 16 years. So both these cats know how Lucas and Star Wars should operate. So, but we always forget, when we say, I get a text from cousin Mervin said, yes, I'm still listening, even though we're recording and he's listening to it
last week.
Yeah. Last week. We forget that Lucasfilm is more than Star Wars. It's also Indiana Jones. And so there's been talk of a Indiana Jones reboot as well, which would be really, really cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick, the other trailer I saw as I was exploring things, it's not something I watched as a kid, but the Masters of the Universe trailer came out.
Is friggin' awesome.
And it looks great. Now, the only person I knew it was Cami Mendes because I used to watch Riverdale. And so, she looked great in it. So I think it's going to be fun, even though I don't have the background.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power.
I know the phrase, but it was just kind of in a gap. It was after I was watching and before I had kids that were watching, so it was in that gap. But I think it'll be a fun movie, kind of like the D&D movie. I didn't really know a ton about D&D, still enjoyed the movie. So I think this will be just like that.
Well, I've got another piece to add in. So Blake 7, which was a cult sci-fi series on the BBC, which Art and I have watched, it was created by Terry Nation, who was the guy who created the dialects for Doctor Who. It's going to get a reboot by Peter Hoare, Hoar, who was a director and directed, was involved with Last of Us and The Umbrella Academy. So, I'm looking forward to that. And that was Black 7 was a very, very bleak sci-fi series. You had 7 freedom fighters, misfits, basically almost Suicide Squad before Suicide Squad, going against the fascist Terran Federation. And so they were freedom fighters, and it was just known to be dark and bleak and gritty before dark, bleak, and gritty were a thing. So, but don't know where that's going to end up at, but they're developing it, and I'm looking forward to that because the show ended on a cliffhanger in 1981.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Ran from 78 to 81. Again, BBC produced. And
75 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was often paired with Doctor Who here in the United States. You would have, when Doctor Who episodes were edited to be an hour run, you would have I think Blake 7 was an hour long. You would have it running after Doctor Who.
Okay.
So, but pretty excited about that. So change at Lucasfilm, Masters of the Universe, variety of things happening. It's a good time to be a sci-fi connoisseur, right?
It'll be a fun year.
So, all right, we're going to take a break, and we may have a special guest joining us.
That's the hope.
Up next. And we're back, and we may have a special guest. Jay, will you like to introduce the guest at the other end of the USB-C connection.
I would. He's been on the podcast before. We had him on when we talked about board games once upon a time. It is the father of my granddaughter, Jacob Reed.
It's good to know that I have been demoted from son to merely the father.
It's not a demotion.
Buddy.
Not a demotion.
Buddy, just realize you're just a conduit for the grandparents to get to the grandchild now. That's all you are.
Exactly.
When
Exactly.
I'm sure that happened to Jay, to your parents, when you came along. I mean,
For sure.
yeah. I mean, it happened for us as well. We were pretty much just, nice to see you. Can I see the grandchild? So,
Exactly. It's a rite of passage.
That's right.
I believe, and it's the last big rite of passage.
And if you're still getting Christmas presents, treasure this because it's about to stop. And they're going to forget your birthday. And, you'll be lucky if they call you by your right name. They're either going to call you.
I already don't call him by his right
I
name.
was say I go by my uncle's name half the time anyway.
Or the dog.
I was going to say it's going to be the dog. It's going to be the kid and the dog. I get called Mark a decent amount out in public because folks associate it, me with Mark the chef. Jay, do you ever get called Jacob?
No.
Or did you ever
so
get
much.
called Jacob?
No, I got called Rusty quite a few times, and I've called him Rusty.
I'm trying to think if I was ever called Mark by Dad by accident. There was a time that Mark was actually in more pictures on his phone than I was.
Well, I know.
we've discussed that here.
Yeah. We jokingly call Jay Mark's TV dad, and when we go out to lunch, guys of a certain age lunch, we'll invite Mark because he's kind of related to both of us. So, but
and he likes to eat free.
Oh, and he loves to eat free. Absolutely across.
He didn't listen to this, does he?
Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't. But his spidey sense may be tingling. So, all right, let's jump into Legos. So, I was not a big Lego person back in the day. I had a couple of kits, but back when I was a kid, when Legos came out, Legos have been out for a while, but mid 70s to mid 80s, you got a generic bus kit or a car kit or something like that. Nothing like today. Jay, what do you remember about Lego?
Pretty much the same. There were sets, but it was mostly just, okay, here is a big set of random bricks and you can make this with it.
Yeah.
But more or less it was just adding bricks to your collection. So my brother Rusty, I remember he made this really fantastic RV but it was not a kit. It was just from all the stuff that we already had. And, we had a big green base, which you'd put things on, but nothing like the kits of now.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Now, when Jacob came along, and he can speak to this since he's here, but that's when the kits came into the house.
Yeah, we would call that the Pink Floyd approach because it was another brick in the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, all right. Well, Jacob, let's talk about your Lego memories.
Yeah, for sure. I think I came in when I was developing my love for Legos and things like that. I think I kind of came in at the golden age of Legos, because that was when really they started doing a lot of their own original IPs, like Bionicle, and there was this super cool miner set. Lego City came around at that time, really started building out that, but also for me, the biggest one was always the Star Wars sets, and so those were some of my key memories. I would just sit there and I would get the Lego magazine and I would just sit there and flip it open.
Wait, there was a Lego magazine?
Oh yeah, it's still there. It's kids in my children's ministry still get it too. So it's like a magazine designed exclusively for kids.
So more
and things like that.
It's an actual magazine, not just a catalog.
Yes, there was a magazine. There was also a catalog.
Okay.
But a magazine also could serve as, hey, we're releasing this new set soon and things like that. So there were ads built in.
So not to interrupt, but to interrupt, the first licensed theme, Star Wars, was released in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was born in 98. So that would have been.
I was born in 98. So right around the time.
I remember when he was born.
Really getting the Lego around 6, I would say, 5 and 6. They had a couple years under their belts. And I think that was really when like Lego started making the more custom pieces.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, you had your 2x4s and your 1x2s and your planks and your they all have names. But when the IP started coming out, that's when those really specific shapes started coming out, which I thought was really, really cool.
I'd forgotten about Bionicles. You had quite a few Bionicles, as I recall.
Yeah, I had Bionicles, and then there was like a Bionicle spinoff that was these like techno nights. And that was a really cool memory. When we were in New York City, we went to the Toys R Us, the one that had the Ferris wheel inside. And I have a distinct memory of seeing this like techno night set. It was just one of the characters that came in essentially like a tube. And I think I walked away with two of them.
Oh.
The lion and the serpent, I think, was the two like symbols on their shields.
Okay.
But that was a really cool experience, getting to get Lego. Because for me, Lego was a very special privilege because of us living overseas. You couldn't just buy it there. So whenever we got it, it was like very few and far between when we saw people that
Sure.
could bring it over for us.
Do you know what year Legos were invented, gentlemen?
It was a long time ago. I can't remember.
It's like
exactly.
1934 or something crazy like that.
32 is when
I was
it was
close.
invented, and they were originally made out of wood. And then the actual brick, the original brick, was made in 32. In 34, they named the company Lego. This was a Danish inventor, a Danish furniture maker invented it. Because
It's quite the story.
yeah, Lego is a contraction from the Dutch phrase leg goed, meaning play well. So
Yeah, and there's Jordan Rayner wrote a book. This guy's the biography. I can't remember his name, but his biography is part of this book. It's 5 different biographies in the book. But the factory that from the beginning to the end of the Lego beginning, I think his factory burned down 2 or 3 times, and every time he rebuilt and kept going, and now we have what we have.
yeah. Jacob, do you? The Lego movie was incredibly popular and seemed to kick it to the stratosphere. That was 2014. You would have been, what, 16 or so with the Lego movie?
Yeah, I would have been 16 or 17. I don't think I actually saw the Lego movie until I was in my 20s, though.
Okay. Because you guys weren't here then, were you?
Yeah,
No, we were back in 2014.
In that time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back in 2000.
Yeah, I graduated high school from Starkville High in 2015.
Gotcha.
And it just came out at a time where I was like, I'm too old for Lego movies. And then when I was in my 20s, I was like, oh,
You missed it.
this is on streaming. I've seen it. It's really funny. And the
It's
Lego
great.
Batman is even better.
Yeah.
Um,
Will Arnett is Batman.
yeah.
Darkness.
he does really, really well with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Legos were such a key part of my childhood in a lot of ways. I still think of some of the sets that I had. My 2 favorites were the Lego B-Wing fighter from Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I had one of those. That's on my goal to eventually, sometime in my life, to actually go through my trunk of Legos and rebuild that one.
That was going to
So I
be
think
my
that'd be really
question. Well, tell us
That'd
your
be
other
cool.
one, then I want to talk about your trunk.
Yeah, I know. The other one was this dwarf mindset. It was like the dwarf base. It was probably the largest Lego set that I ever had. And that was one of my favorites. I still think about that one a lot because it was kind of at the very front end of my love for fantasy, which I still love today. Still am very involved in reading and in consuming stuff about fantasy. But dwarves have always been my favorite mythical creature. And so having the whole dwarf mind was a really, really cool experience, especially as a child.
And so right now, I know a lot of people who get kits, you build the kit and you either leave it together and display it, or I guess if you take it apart, it goes back in the box or whatever. But all of yours are in a giant sort of container, all mixed together, are they not?
They are.
And
They
there's a
are.
lot of them. I mean, it's a big container and it's full.
Yeah, no, a lot of people bought me Lego as a child, and I was the kid that would play with a set probably for a couple of weeks and then tear it down and use those pieces for other things.
Uh-huh.
And so I just enjoyed the creative aspect, which I think is a big aspect of what Lego is and what their kind of motto is that, that screen free play.
Mm-hmm.
They desire for the imagination aspect of it. And that's why these Lego sets are creative by the fact that they, you take pieces that could be 1,000 different things and you can make flowers to paintings to a TIE fighter.
Uh-huh.
But you can also just tear everything apart and build whatever you want. As a child, I was a big fan of the movie Treasure Planet, where the main character has essentially like a windsurfer, but it's like super kind of steampunky. And I would make a ton of those for my characters out of random other pieces, just because I thought it was such a cool ship idea, but also they didn't have an official licensed IP, so I made it my own. And Dad, I think you and I actually made our house one time out of Legos.
Very possible. Oh yeah. I think I remember that.
We did. We made a 2-story house, and you made the house. I was there, but you had the kitchen and our bedrooms and the living room and all of that stuff, and we made that out of the bricks that we had.
Yeah, and I was thinking that makes me think of as an adult with a kid that liked Legos. The hard part for me was giving you a set and then actually letting you put it together.
Self-control.
Yeah. And we would do some together, as I recall. And, it's funny to me now that's to look like I follow John Acuff, and he talks about all these cars, Ferrari, Lamborghini, all the things that he builds, and you can win sometimes on his show. And the adult sets that are out there now, like the last set I bought, it was not difficult to make, but was, one of the flower sets, because my wife has allergies to flowers. So I try to find ways to bring flowers into the house that don't give her a sinus infection. And Lego is one of those things. So I bought the Lego set, and then I bought a vase, and I had some little things for the stems to go in so it would hold up just like you would with an artificial flower. And I think you've done that too, haven't you, Jacob? Didn't you get a bouquet for Lindsay at some point?
Yeah, we did it as a Valentine's Day date.
Okay.
And adults are all about Legos. There's a ton of people that are grown people that love to do Legos, to the point where Lego has I believe it's their icons set, which are kind of their adult Lego sets. I mean, you're looking at $400 a piece. But
I was going to say, when we say adult Lego sets, we're talking about number of pieces, difficulty, and how much they cost.
Not something you would pick up at the Pony.
No, right.
Sorry, Mrs. Reed.
And now it's kind of gotten, I mean, that's the impetus for this episode was something that has just been released or is about to be released, which is the Lego Smart Brick playset. And Jacob, you nailed it a minute ago when you talking about they're trying to do screen-free play, because if you go into the Lego website and look at how the Smart Brick was developed, and I'll get more into the details in a second, but the development was like, over 10 years trying to figure out how to condense the technology and make it an active play situation without bringing cameras and screens into it. And they had ended up inventing their own chip, which I think they said fits in one stud of the 2x4 brick.
That's crazy.
Coils in it that charge. So basically, what it is there's 3 parts to this system. There's the Smart Brick, which is kind of that's the part that charges and that kind of runs everything. It has light, it has sound, it interacts with smart minifigs.
Each other.
Yeah, each other. It's got minifigs that have smart tiles on them, and then there's smart tiles, which are, I think, basically a kind of a 1x4 flat brick looking thing that, like, one might be a helicopter, one might be a boat, one might be a whoever, whatever, and you put that on your creation, and when the Smart Brick gets close to it or is included in that compilation, it makes the sound of the helicopter. So the first 3 kits coming out are all Star Wars related. And so I noticed one, since my phone is being used as audio, I don't have my picture in front of me, but there's 3 sets coming out. You can pre-order them now. They are released on March the 1st, I believe. And they're all really affordable, more than you would think. They're not really much more than another set would be of comparable difficulty and pieces and that kind of stuff. So it looks to be really cool.
Yeah, I find it really interesting that Star Wars was the first 3 sets that they released, and the for those at home listening, the 3 sets are Darth Vader's TIE Fighter versus a poor Rebel troop. It is the Throne Room duel, and they include an A-wing in there randomly. And then the last one is the Red 5 X-wing set,
Standing by.
Stormtrooper. Exactly. So I find it interesting that they started out with Star Wars. I think it's a good decision because it will definitely show the ability of the smart bricks to do various things. And I'm pretty sure that they're subsidizing the pricing a little bit to kind of initially sell the concept. Because they tried something like this before with Mario, where there was a Mario Lego set with a custom electronic Mario piece. But it was really, really expensive to get the initial Mario piece. And then all the rest of them were like the sets were pretty cheap because you had the expensive bit, and it didn't sell super well. So I think they're flipping the script a little bit.
The Throne Room duel with the A-wing is $160. That's how much that kit is. And then I just had it.
I think the other 2 are under 100 though, like 70.
Yeah, X-wing is 90.
Yeah,
and then the TIE Fighter is 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at comparable kits to, without the smart brick, with the same amount of stuff, it's not that much more expensive. So it's if you can afford a TIE Fighter and all the things that come with it, you can afford this.
Yeah.
And then you can use the smart brick on other pieces later.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it warn you before you step on it?
That is an excellent question.
So it's
that
not
would
that
be
smart.
the OG. That would be great.
How many times have you stepped on a random Lego in the middle of the night or something like that?
I definitely have.
That would be the true definition of a smart brick. It would say, "Don't step on me," and you could pivot off and save yourself the horror and the pain.
Well, that is part of the construction is if you do step on it, you probably won't step on it long, and you might not crush it. the expensive smart brick.
I mean, yeah, that's right. So, Jacob, how many Lego kits have you got ready for your newborn to play with?
As of right now, 0, because she is not at that age. We are in the wooden block stage, where that is about the extent of our Lego capacity right now. I definitely think as she gets older, I will eventually steal back that box of Legos from my parents.
Oh, you have it.
And
you have it now.
Uh-oh. There's a hoarding question.
Yeah, you took it back.
When did I take it back?
I don't know. We can figure that out later, but I'm pretty sure you.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out later.
Took it back.
I'm pretty sure I brought it back. I don't think I ever brought it to North Carolina.
Okay,
so we'll see.
We'll check. We'll check.
Yeah, we'll check that. But
it's in your dad's room somewhere.
Well, I know it's either in your closet at home in Mississippi, or it's somewhere in North Carolina that you've just forgotten.
Yeah. But regardless, though, thinking back on the smart brick, I honestly feel like I am a little bit in between whether or not I think this is a good idea. I think there's some super cool aspects about it. There's no denying that there is a technology coolness factor to this, that Lego was able to build all of this technology that fits in a 2x4 and things like that. I do think it's going to have some limiting factors because unless you buy multiple bricks, the smart bricks, you're kind of limited in how many aspects of the play features you can use at one time. You know, if you are using the TIE fighter, you can't shoot the gun at the same time because of you only have one brick. So it could be a little bit of a, oh, you can't play with it anymore. Here's the brick for $45. But also, I think one of the key aspects of Lego, and I think part of their vision with that screen free play, there's a lot of imagination that goes into it. Where when I was in my throne room duel, I was making the lightsaber noises and I was, I was imagining those things. So I wonder if by giving technology that space, if Lego's going to lose a little bit of that feature that made them such a great creative force.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. It may be too also that the smart brick might bring in some people who are technology oriented and introduce them to Lego that maybe weren't as big a fan before, and then once they get to playing, realize they don't need the smart brick. Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Any last Lego thoughts? And we didn't make an ego comment at all. So
no, I think it's
until right now.
I think it's still. I mean, I love the history. I recommend looking into the biography of the guy that created it. And I wish I could remember. It's a very, very German sounding name, but I should have looked it up. But anyway, it's.
If somebody hadn't ripped your phone from your hands to make this call.
It's a great story. It's a great product. The fact that it has...
Wait, have you gotten a secret endorsement deal with Lego that you haven't cut me and Art in on yet?
Absolutely not.
Okay, just check.
I have to go back to work Monday. If I can get there.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think I still love it even now. I mean, I probably, like Jacob, I was into it and then just like football cards or whatever, collectibles, out of it for a while and then back into it. So, I mean, I sometimes will buy these little, like I said, flower kits from Melissa, and she's not interested in making them. So I get to make them.
So you realize the way this is set up, Jacob, is he still has your box of Legos that he's hiding. He wants to make you think that you have it so that it will go missing and you'll forget about it and he will keep it in his collectible room.
Well,
indeed. All of a sudden, I'm going to come home one day and the B-Wing fighter is displayed in my dad's office.
That's right. Oh, you rebuilt that for me and gave it to me for Father's Day one year. Yeah, I see how this is going to go. So, all right. Any other Lego thoughts, gentlemen? Jay, this is a podcast. Don't shake your head saying yes or no.
I think we're good. I think we've covered the bases.
All right, Jacob, thanks for joining us, and we'll see everybody next time around.